Hey Faith, we're recording this for you.
It says
Oh. Oh, today's actually 319. She might be on the news. You guys know that? Channel, is it like Channel 8 or Channel 5? Channel 5's coming. They're checking out that coffee thing. Did you order it?
Can we watch the news?
Yeah. I got my punch card ready to go.
You might be on the news.
Yeah, I might. See.
Wait,
I dressed up for it. Huh? What are we recording? Oh, because she's helping them with the deliveries or something today, I guess.
She wanted to be on the
She wanted to?
Wait,
Yes.
are we gonna be on the news?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the background if they come deliver my coffee. I'm not sure. They're coming to check out how the business is ran. So.
Can I look up News 5?
What?
Can I look up News 5?
No, it's not going to be on till like tonight. It'll be on at like 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Put it out.
This is not like a live action scene. Like they have to get all their footage, edit it down, have a producer look at it. Here, are we good on this?
Wait, I'm almost done.
Like, there's gonna be 2 ways to do compound events. Oh, my leg. Can't wait till I get to my new room.
Where's that?
It's gonna be Mrs. Nagy's room. She's in the high school. It's
Yeah,
kind of by
who is that?
Castleberry. It's like a couple doors down.
Who's Catholic?
The Spanish teacher. That's kind of by the girls' bathroom. You just
Is it
you
over
like
there?
keep walking that way, and then as soon as you get
I know who he
to
is.
the girls' bathroom, it's like the next door to the right. Josie,
My brother has seen circles.
how old is he?
He's 5.
Does he like it? Can you record him singing
Yeah, I
to
was
it?
going to. He was last night. He was reading books to my sister. He's like, "You want to hear a song?" And then he started singing it too.
I tell you, it's catchy.
I got it.
It's
I mean,
really fun.
the reason I do that is to remember the formulas. I was helping a student in office hours. He ended up getting like a 6 or 7 out of 10, and the one thing he messed up is he wasn't writing the formulas down. So he ended up using circumference when he's supposed to use area. And another problem, he used area when he needs to use circumference. If he just wrote the formula down and plugged in, I should actually ask him for his paper.
Wait, isn't the line of the sum pi r squared sounds like area to me when I do
Just
circumference?
circumference.
I use pi.
Just use pi d. Yeah, that's it. All right, can I go now?
I have a question.
Yeah, question. Write down 2 ways to solve. You're back. Are you gonna be on the news?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Do coffee stuff.
We're recording for
So
you.
you were on the news?
This is gonna be
Hi,
funny.
Faith. You're back in class. So now this is awkward.
I'm a star now.
All right, get out your notebook. Leave about half a page, and then catch up to us. So there's gonna be 2 ways to solve these problems. You can create a sample space. This can be used to solve almost every problem, and this is actually what they want you to do in 7th grade. They want you to create a sample space. Depending on the problem, you can just multiply most of the time. You just multiply events. It doesn't work for all problems. That's what Mrs. Harari, maybe you can help me out when we get to it. I don't know when, like, to tell them, oh, you could just multiply, or versus create a sample space. I mean, I know what problems they need to do, but I can't explain why. I'm not sure. I'll show you what I mean.
Are you still down for this stuff on YouTube?
Yeah, but I still want you writing it down. Yeah, it's gonna be on YouTube. I'll put it up. I'll put it up during dinner, maybe during lunch. Who else is listening? We good? No.
No.
All right.
Wait, did you order coffee?
Yeah. I order coffee. Is it coming soon?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the cameras following them?
We already have coffee.
Gosh,
I'm gonna put them on your desk. I'm gonna pretend like you have that, and then I'm gonna be like, she went with the competitor.
No, everyone's going to be like,
Do you know what my daughter does every time she drinks? Well, not coffee, but she drinks anything. She goes like this. So when we were in the airport, every old person that walked by, she purposely would like hurry up and drink, and she'd go, and like, oh, they couldn't. I found out the gender of my yesterday.
Gender
gender.
Are you telling us or is this?
I'll tell you what. I will show you the video of me
Wait, you're having
I
another
can
child?
tell.
learning. It could be a boy or a girl.
You're having another child?
Wait, you
Yeah.
are?
Oh, you guys didn't know that?
No.
Shoot. I
Wait,
messed up.
you didn't tell us.
Well, now you know. And you'll be the first one to know the gender. I'll make up for it, alright? If we can get through these examples. Deal? Alright, let's go. It's a
Wait, I
video-
didn't finish.
It's a video of me opening the box that tells me what it is.
It's
It was
a
from
boy.
yesterday. It could be
It's a girl.
It's a boy.
Could be boy or girl. I don't know. I forgot already.
What do you mean? No, it's a boy.
Huh? Well,
Oh, you having
if it was a girl, we were thinking about naming it. Well, because we have Savannah with like New Orleans, NOLA. If it's a boy, we're thinking about naming. I like Ace, but my wife hates that.
Oh, okay. Hannah, you always
I like
I mean,
it.
if you're all
Just
hunched
take a
over
couple.
for tissue.
Whose class is that for?
Study hall for like 100 times.
We need to like just hide it in like a ceiling
Yeah.
tile, and then you can just get it.
I would literally climb on the desk and jump. All the way up here just
I'm gonna give your mom some Kleenexes just to keep back there for Hannah. Just so we'll get some. Can we move on?
Wait, do like one more minute.
How about I move on and you can get it on the video I was recording for you?
Done. Go away.
Alright.
Hannah.
You have to
making
play.
a video and I don't want to be in it.
You
Oh,
wanna
yeah.
make the news?
Yeah, the news. Did you not hear people?
Alright.
Hannah.
What?
Go in the corner. It's hard. Coming in. Hi.
The other class is gonna find out the gender before you.
I don't do the table.
Alright. Write this down. Example 1. What is the probability of getting a heads on a coin and rolling a 4 or 5 on a number cube? I'm going to do this 2 ways. I'm going to do them both ways. I'm going to do it multiplying. What is the probability? I'm going to wait. I know you guys are waiting. Yeah.
Is there a way to abbreviate the word probability?
Yes, and this is how you have to do it. You just do probability of heads. You put a capital P
Hannah, what are you doing?
and probability of getting a 4 or 5. Is this how you guys saw it on your con?
Yeah.
Prob-
I said what is
Yeah.
That's
P stands for probability.
I don't want to be in the video. Then tell him that's
Just
wrong.
go run.
Tell him that's just run.
You're not gonna be on the video.
No, run. Just run. The thing is blur your face.
I'm gonna tell her like, oh, you're on that video.
Can we watch it?
It's not even. No, it didn't air.
It's gonna be air. It's gonna be air.
It'll probably be here, I'd say,
Probably.
later. Maybe at noon, maybe at 4 or 5. But I'll tell you what. I bet Mrs. McHugh knows. You don't call the news to come report something and not know when it's playing. It'll probably be linked too. They'll probably email it to you. We ready?
Are we solving this?
I'm doing it with you. 2 ways. Alright. First of all, let's go probability of a head. Somebody tell me as a fraction, what's the probability of heads? Let's go with Ray. What do you get? I know you can do this. What is it? Two sides, so what's the chance of a head? How many of those 2 sides have a head? 1. Half. Okay. Next event. What is the probability of rolling a 4 or 5? 2 out of 6. Now, these are 2 different events. What's the chances of both of these happening back to back? You could multiply this. When you multiply fractions, you multiply across the top. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. The answer is 2 12s. You could simplify it down to 1 6, but I'm going to keep it as 2 12s for a reason, because I'm bringing this bad boy down here. This is called a table. If I was going to do draw this, it's 2 by 6. This is just like what we did when I was asking you to find the probability of a 6. This is called a sample space. What do you think I'm going to write on the outside left here? Shawnee? There's two sides. So do you think this two sides represents the coin or represents the cube?
Top row represents the
Coin.
that is the word.
You wanna come up here and talk?
The red.
Oh, it represents the red, the coin. This is going to represent heads or tails. And then this side of the chart is going to represent the cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, this is going to show all results. So, what does this pretty much mean? This means you can get a heads and a 1. You can get a heads and a 2. You can get a heads and a 3. Heads and a 4. Heads and a 5. Heads and 6. Tails and a 1. Tails and a 2. Tails and a 6. Do you agree that's all the possible outcomes you could possibly have?
Yes.
Somebody want to come up and highlight which of these 12 boxes represents our desired outcome? Alright, chosen. That's a false alarm. It's already on a highlighter, so you just have to point to it and highlight it.
Highlighted on our page.
Just touch with your finger.
Wait, so I'm highlighting.
I want you to highlight anywhere that you think it's going to be a 4 or 5 with the heads. That's it. Alright. So, what are the chances of getting a heads and a 4 or a heads and a 5? The probability is 2 out of 12. Does that make sense with what we did up here? You see it, and the math works out. We good? Which way did you like better?
I like the
Top. Is this, depending on the question, the top might not always be used. It all, and that's why I'm not sure like how to explain it. We good? I'll wait for Nick. Does anybody want highlighters? Thank you. This one's probably dry. Alright, let's move on. Hey, is 2 out of 12, is that likely? Is that more than likely, less than likely, or about half? Less likely. What is the probability of flipping a tails 3 times in a row? Well, can I make a table 3-dimensional for 3 flips? No. So a table's not going to work for this one. There's another type of diagram. It's called I call it like a chicken foot. What did I name it up here though? I named it
Tree or table?
tree diagram. That's what it is. It ends up looking like a chicken foot though. I'll show you that. You can just put probability of 3 tails in a row. Okay. Do you guys want to see the multiplication way first and then the diagram?
Yeah.
Alright. I don't know. Let's go with. It's on this side. Cole, what's the chance of getting a tails?
1 out of 3. Or 1 out of 2.
1 out of 2. That's the first flip, right? Jack, what's the chance of getting a tails again? 1 out of 2. Is it possible? Yeah. And Yusef, what's the probability of getting tails again? Okay, does that represent 3 flips in a row? Multiply together. So, let's do it. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, not 6. We're multiplying here. So it's 1/8. So the probability of 3 in a row is 1/8. I want you doing both ways. Because, I mean, this is no test at all. Is this a test? Yeah. This is for the other additional. So there's probability of sampling. That's the easy one that you should take first, and you probably have enough notes to take it now.
Wait, that's the one.
It's an additional. This is going to go for the other one.
Wait, additional.
There's 2 additionals. This is for the second one.
We could use a theoretical probability to pick that one.
Yeah. This is notes for
The
that one.
first one. Hello? No. You'll hear it.
All right.
Any teaching.
All right. This is what a tree diagram looks like. If you flip it one time, it's going to be heads or tails, right? This is the first flip. Heads or tails. You can get either one. That's one flip. But if you flip it again from heads, you can get heads. You can get heads and heads and heads and tails, right? You could get tails and heads. You can get tails and tails. So that's all of them after 2 flips. But wait, there's more. There's one more set. So then you want to branch off of here. You can go heads and tails. Heads and tails. Heads and tails. Again, it's redundant. Heads and tails. Now, how many possibilities are there? Well, look on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does it match up with my 8? Okay. Somebody see the path, somebody else other than Shawnee see a path where it's 3 tails in a row? I want to highlight that. Or Jaden. It's like each of these paths is one path. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all 8. Which one is the one that we're talking about? Tails, tails, tails. How many times did that happen? 1. This is 1 out of the 8 different ways it could end up. So that's why it's 1/8. Question.
You could have gotten 3 tails in a row by the same thing, but instead of going right, you went left, like the second.
What do you mean?
Oh, wait, never mind.
So you understand, this means heads, heads, heads. That's a 1/8 chance. You can go heads, heads, tails. You can go heads, tails, head. You see, I mean, this is kind of how you got to read it each way. We good on that? What's the worst part about this tree? Would somebody see something that's a potential flaw in this? Yeah. It can get messy, especially if you did rolling dice, right? Could you imagine? Each branch would have 6 underneath. Your paper would explode with numbers this wide. So this is not necessarily the best way of doing it, but it does work. It can get messy. We good? All right. If you flip 3 coins, what is the probability of getting at least 2 tails? This is going to be a diagram one. Like, you're not going to be able to do this by multiplying. At least I don't think so. Do you already have this set up from the last example of flipping coins? So it's going to be the same thing. You can get heads, tails, heads and tails, heads and tails. Huh?
Wouldn't you just do 3?
What do you mean 3?
3 diagrams since you're flipping 3 coins.
3 diagrams?
Like 3 heads and tails.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah, since you're flipping 3 coins, wouldn't you do 3 diagrams?
No. I'm going to do, this is 1 coin. This represents 1 coin. This represents the second coin, and this represents the third coin. Is that, I don't know if that helps out. No? This diagram? If you flip a coin, what can you get? Head. What? Hold on. So if you flip a coin, you can get heads or tails, right? So let's say you get heads and you flip another coin. What could you get? You could get heads and so you can get heads and heads, or heads and tails, right? And if you got tails, you can also get tails and tails, tails and heads. How many flips is this in a row? 2. But wait, you can flip it again, and then you branch off again. So you can get heads, heads, heads. How does it get 8? If you count them up below here, there is 8 different possibilities. 1, 8, 1, 1, wait. Heads, heads, tails, this is 2 8s. You can get heads, tails, heads, this is 3 8s. You can get heads, tails, tails, this is 4 8s. You can go tails, heads, heads, 5 8s. You can go tails, heads, tails, 6 8s. You can go tails, tails, heads, which is 7 out of the 8 possibilities. And then finally, you can get all tails. And that would be 8 out of 8. That's all 8 of them. So you're actually looking at the very bottom row. Is everybody else seeing this? No? How else could I show this? There's not an easier. I don't think there's an easier way to show it. Haley, you said you want to come up and highlight?
Yeah, because there's multiple.
Yes. Now, what is the probability of getting? Listen to how I said this. At least 2 tails. So is 3 tails count? All right. You want to highlight here? Highlight in blue. Come on up.
Oh,
I want you to draw like a. Just highlight each route that has at least 2 tails. So you can go heads, tails, tails. That's 1. Tails, 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 or heads. Yeah. Is that it?
there's another one.
Where's the other one? Here, step aside so they can see it. Does anybody see the one she's forgetting?
Tails, heads, tails.
We want at least 2. Here, I'll give you a hint. It starts with tails and ends with tails.
It's on.
There we go. So how many times did you get at least 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. The probability of this is probability of at least 2 tails is, what is that, 4 out of 8? 1, 2, 3, 4 8 or half. What if I said exactly 2 tails? This last one wouldn't be highlighted. Yeah.
How would you do this to multiplication?
Can't. I don't think so. That's why. Do you know why? You like. Yeah. That's why I said it's hard for me to say when to use this way and when to use the other one. Okay. Can we try another one? Yes. Here's my answer. This right here, this will work almost all the time. If they're giving you 2 events, just create a table. Right?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. You can answer any question with this. Now, if it's like, I think when it's more difficult question, like, there's a difference between heads is 1/2, a 4 or 5 is 2 6. Like, you could know the math of these 2 and multiply them. When it's something like this, probability of getting like at least 2 tails, that makes it more difficult. Let's look at this question. Don't even try it yet. Do you think if you roll 2 dice and add them together, what number is most likely? Is this something where I'm asking for probability? No. I'm asking what outcome. Do you think a table would be a good strategy or multiplying would be a good strategy on this one? This would be definitely a table one. Anybody know? Anybody have a guess? If you add two dice together, what number you think would be most likely? That's the worst sound on the planet.
I think it was
That's a
7.
great
If you do a table,
Yeah.
there would be 6 on one side and 6 on the other.
Yeah, so it'd be 6 on one side, 6 on the other. Any guesses on
And
what
then
number?
then you would keep adding them together because there's multiple possibilities. There's no wrong answer.
Like, if you add two numbers together on a dice, what's the biggest number you can get?
12.
What's the smallest number you can get?
2. 1.
1 plus 1 is 2.
When will we ever actually use this in like the real world?
What probability? They use probability all the time for casino games, gambling, scratch-off tickets. If you're trying to figure out, for example, I just figured out that I'm having a blank, right? So if I want to think about probability, like this is how I thought about it. I could have a boy or a girl. I could have a boy or girl, because I'm having 2 kids, right? So I'm like, man, what is the probability? I could have 2 boys. Is that likely, 2 boys? Nah, boy and boy. If I can have a girl and girl, is that likely? Nah, that's 1 out of 4.
This is like
So I was thinking, hey, oh, so a Punnett square, so when we talk about genetics, you can use it. I mean, this is all over the place. So, actually figuring out, you could have a boy-girl, or this one I could have a girl-boy. So in a way, I had a 50% chance of having one of each.
Wait, so you're having twins?
I don't know yet,
You do know, though.
You do know.
but I'm not telling you without the video because I think that makes it more special.
Oh, can you show us? Yeah, show us around.
Oh, well, let's get through. This is the last 2. We got 2 examples, and then we're done.
Okay.
Last 2, I promise you. I want to go back to guesses. Does anybody know what numbers add up? Any guesses? Do you think 12 is likely since it's the highest? Okay, I got 6. Any other numbers?
2.
A 2. Any other number? 4.
3.
3. All right, let's find out. Nobody else has a lucky number?
My lucky number.
100.
Okay, Ms. Garcia, you expect me to draw this? Yes.
How much is it, Dad?
Oh,
It's 6 by 6. Your paper already has 6 lines. All you have to do is draw, box it in, and draw 6.
I don't want to bring my paper.
I'll draw it for you here. You come up and label mine. I'll draw it for you.
Can I do it? Hey, no.
Well, you gotta put 1 through 6 on the left hand side. In fact, just get comfortable up there. You're probably gonna stay up there the whole time.
I don't like this.
No, you're doing great. You're paying attention.
Go, Bridget. Go, Bridget. Don't be nervous. I'm staring at you. You're getting in the way of my box. Okay. Now you have to label the insides.
Oh, do you mind doing the insides for me too? Like if you roll a 1 and a 1, what's
I'll
it
do
equal?
it.
Throw it up there too in that box. Yep. And what's the number next to 2 if you get a 2 and a 1? Keep going. Here, I'll fill it in for you. You fill it in for me. Yeah, you don't have enough room. I'm gonna have to draw on the other page.
Like that.
Keep doing. Do the whole thing.
You gotta do math. So we're gonna do 4 right here. 3.
Just add it together. 2 plus 1 is.
Oh, I see. Wait, I'm confused with this still. Oh, wait, not that.
You guys are gonna notice it turns into a pattern, kind of, doesn't it? This is good practice.
I will.
Too late. I don't like being in the spotlight. I really don't like it.
Oh, literally spotlight.
No, yes, exactly.
It makes me stressed.
You finish yours. Oh wait, we messed up. 3 plus 1 is 4.
The numbers go in your really tired.
I messed up.
Wait. Yeah, put it down. Back up. Alright, now you can touch up.
Very smart. Very, very smart.
I think you did a great job.
I did.
You did. Your
You
handwriting
did
is
amazing.
100 times better than mine.
That is funny, sir.
I'm just a really
I don't
good
see what that's
That's
for.
funny.
I messed up, so I'm not gonna rewrite it.
Why is there a ball?
Why is there a ball in there?
Because you put fruit in it. Why is there? You make it fruity fruit because there's so fruit. Or banana if you want banana fruit.
Great job. Did you guys finish your squares too?
Yep.
Yeah, I finished. Very easy.
Alright,
Very smart.
so looking at this, what number appears to happen more than any other number?
7. 6.
Let's count.
I don't know.
7.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 36 sixes. For sevens, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 36. Is anything beating that?
No.
You guys ever heard of lucky number 7? You ever see 7 on downtown Cleveland? Why do you think everybody likes lucky number 7? They go, that's my lucky number. No, that is everybody's lucky number, right? I always get a 7. No, everybody's most likely going to get a 7. It's not just you, it's everybody, because it's the math, right? So what is most likely to happen? 7 is most likely. Is that interesting?
7 is not my lucky number.
Okay, you do not have to.
I was born the year
A year before 7?
There was one. I'm unlucky.
Alright,
And I was born in the 6th.
You-
What was the answer to the last one?
7 is the most common number. You do not have to draw this.
Do we have to listen to the video?
Wait,
I
shh, guys, we want to finish up. This is
Okay, shh.
Jaden, question.
My birthday was almost 666.
Oh wait, how's that even
So it's
possible?
so weird because I was born in 06.
Okay.
So July. So it would have been if I was born in June. And if I was born on the 6th, it would have been 666. He was born in 2006.
What's the chances of me getting 666 on the spinner if I spin it 3 times in a row? It'd be 1/4 times 1/4. It'd be 1/4 times 1/4 times 1/4. That would be equal to 1, and then 16 times 4. Well, that's going to be 64. Is that very likely? Watch, I'm gonna get it.
Wait, no, it wouldn't be 60.
1?
You probably baked this.
Yeah. Which you want to bet?
Oh, I missed it. I got, and then the last one would have been a 2. See, it's never gonna happen. I spent all the rest of the period trying. They got exciting though. All right. Anyway, why don't you take a second and see if you can. This is a 1. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
This is a 1, a 3, a 5. On this one, it's 6, 8, 10, and 2. If we spin both spinners and add them together, you can use your whiteboards. Find the probability of getting a 7 or 11.
So we add all the numbers.
So if I was to spin this one and spin this one,
3.
I get 3 plus 8 is
11.
oh, that would make it. Is it always going to be an 11
We go higher.
every time? Let's see. This one's going to be a 1 plus ooh 7. Oh, it seems like it's happening a lot. Why is that happening so often? Did I rig it somehow?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me, what is the chances? Is it going to happen 100% of the time?
No. Maybe.
1 plus 8 is 9. I didn't get a 7 or 1.
Yeah, come on.
No, I just open a box at the dining room table.
Will you open it? Can we
We
show
watched
it?
out and it was like pink or blue.
False alarm.
Can we watch the
Okay, can we watch it?
Huh?
Can we watch it?
Yeah, if we can finish this last one.
We
Come
know.
on, let's go, people, come on.
None of people.
You want me in? Nick, I just think you're people.
It's
Okay.
not finished.
We have
Wait,
nine
how many
or eight.
outcomes do you think this is gonna be?
6.
4 times 3 is
No, 12.
12. Here, I'll set it up for you. Finish it. You can get a 1, 3, or 5, and on the other one you can get a 2, 6, 8, 10. Make your squares and find out how many of them gives you a 7 or a 11.
Wait, 1, 3, 5. What?
Fine.
Wait, I want free candy. She doesn't get candy.
Wanna see what she did?
No. Good job, Lydia. Give a cookie.
Hey, you should
Lydia,
play
you
this
No,
one.
figure out though. How
You
many
guys
of these
only have
squares
7
have
minutes.
7 or 11?
She did private and
Wow.
Diameter.
Would you rather sit in a coffee or a student life?
Pi r.
You don't have to answer.
Sounds like
Probably
your
coffee.
radius by meter.
What's your favorite? Would you rather save your coffee's life or your student's life?
A coffee's life?
Yeah.
Or student's
Yeah.
life? Students' lives matter.
Do they really?
Teachers don't.
I want to say really nobody in school like.
Alright, if you were filling this in, some of us.
It's
I don't
11.
get why we hit the wall.
It's 11.
Is a perfect math class 65 minutes?
No. It's 30
Because obviously you don't have enough gas in the tank for 85.
Wait, it's 11.
We got 2 here. Oh no, sorry, this would be 3, right? 6 plus 1 is 7. 8 plus 1 is 9. 10 plus 1 is 11. 3 plus 2 is 5. 9, 11. 3 plus 10 is 13. That's 7, 11, 13, and 15.
It's 11.
How many times did I get a 7 or 11? I got a 7 or 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 12.
Big video.
There's a checkpoint. Do you mind passing that out?